As we are saying, Zimbabwe, welcome to our channel, Zim Confessions and Deep Secrets. Kanakariki kutanka kukuya padeno channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, but don't forget to comment and share this video on Nasimre Zimbabwe. But it's one of the news hawks. The news hawks you are Buddha Stara Iyo. The President Mnangagwa has failed the test on Chivhayo Honai Chikonzero. When individuals with high-level political connections to those in power, President Mnangagwa in this case, escape accountability for their corrupt activities, then it creates a culture of impunity. So in the current case of dodgy local businessman Wicknell Chivhayo and Mnangagwa's deathly silent reactions applies. It is a clear example of how crony capitalism, the nexus between politics and business, has destroyed Zimbabwe. Despite being accused of corruption involving a multi-million-dollar Zimbabwe Electoral Commission tender, Chivhayo, who claims he has a firm grip on Mnangagwa, is still walking the streets while openly enjoying the proceeds of his corrupt deal. This leads to erosion of trust in public institutions, leadership, and the rule of law. Where some people are held accountable but others are protected, it creates an animal farm Orwellian situation. Critically, this encourages corruption, criminality, and impunity, which are damaging to the fabric of society, the economy, and investment. When brazen corruption goes unpunished, it emboldens other potential criminals to engage in similar behavior, knowing only too well their political cronies will protect them. Compromised political leaders are not able to effectively fight corruption. When political leaders are compromised, they lack moral authority to do so. They are also vulnerable to blackmail or manipulation. Further, they prioritize personal interests over public good, which makes them a threat to society and national interest. In fact, compromised leaders undermine efforts to address corruption, fueling impunity and weakening institutions. To effectively combat venality and corruption, leaders must demonstrate integrity and transparency. They need strong political will and independence from corrupt influences and to stay away from dodgy individuals. They also need accountability to the people and commitment to justice and the rule of law. Only then can they seriously and credibly address the problem of corruption. Impunity weakens democratic norms and institutions, as well as economic development. So, it is essential to ensure that the rule of law applies equally to all, regardless of connections or status. The Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission is conspicuous by silence on the case now after its chairperson, Michael Reza, enthusiastically claimed recently that he was itching to deal with Chivhayo and his business partners Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu over the corrupt deal. It is almost certain Reza has now been politically blocked. Reza and his colleagues must explain why Chivhayo is still not accountable when the facts shows he was one of the corrupt deal kingpins. Not only Chivhayo, but also those who were involved in the election tender scandal. They are all known and the evidence is compelling. If the anti-corruption body cannot investigate such open and brazen corruption, what is its purpose then? At this rate, the Anti-Corruption Commission will become part of the problem, not the solution. Independent investigations, transparent decision-making, and accountability can help address these concerns. Buda Stauro na news chema nekunyarara kuraitwa nyaya ya Wicknell Chivhayo muri Zimbabwe. Tingaziye kuti muona sei nyaya iyi tiudziwe zvamunofunga mu comment section. Parwa tukuita vaseveka sokwera kabudoza kare vachitaura vachiti silence ya President Mnangagwa iri kuratidza kuti he is also involved mumadeals iwawa na Wicknell Chivhayo. Tisingaziye kuti munoona sei nyaya iyi muri Zimbabwe. A prominent Zimbabwean journalist, Honai Ndiringi akabuda achipa his analysis on whether Chivhayo achasungwa kana kuti haasi kuzosungwa. Akabuda on his X handle achitaura iye chete, can Wicknell Chivhayo realistically arrested and prosecuted? Is it not expecting too much or punching above own weight? Is it not overestimating our power and influence as a people? What is the fate of ZANU-PF wings and activists who publicly disown him? And in a normal country, Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu would not be victimized, haunted by counter-accusations. Instead, they would be protected as an endangered state witnesses deserving same protection for whistleblowers. But no, they dared the untouchables. Boys are back. And it will be far-fetched to expect Wicknell Chivhayo to be arrested and prosecuted given the level of pedigree he had acquired. Wicknell was already acting as ambassador at large for Zimbabwe, meeting dignitaries at State House and carrying presidential messages internationally. And of course, Chivhayo was long identified as having necessary acumen to represent the president, ever-rising business interests regionally using presidential diplomatic solidarity. Thus, Wicknell can knock at any door and it open because of the address he represents. It would thus be foolish to expect the president's appointed red-eyed boy to go under the bus. Even under the most compelling circumstances, Wicknell would never be humiliated, mostly because it would embarrass the president due to circles which Wicknell was introduced. And it's noteworthy that government has been aware of non-delivery of God's or presidential God's personal scheme. But because Mike and Moses had played good kids, no one raised an eyelid. In Zimbabwe, you can survive any crime for as long as you don't ruffle feathers of the powers that can be. And the persecution of Mike Chimombe and Moses Mpofu is a deliberate attempt to diminish their character and to decimate their opportunity to produce further incriminating evidence against the chosen one. A crime they are surely going to pay dearly for poor Mike and Moses. And ironically, as if to confirm that this is a witch hunt, in this video, Zak Online is basing its case on Wicknell Chivhayo's self-incriminating audios, but they choose to summon Mike and Moses, pretending that Wicknell is non-existent. Now focus is on the missing gods. It's amazing how Zekzim and the now yacked Zak Online think that the Vasha statement about rebuttal could make people forget that indeed it is about Wicknell Chivhayo's stinky 40 million US tender, Zek election material supply tender. The desperation is culpable and horribly reminiscent of some awful drama script. The powers that are determined to deflect attention rather than being accountable and to set a good standard, a legacy of religiously sticking to their promise and respect the law and be different. It is a really sad spectacle, and the heirs could largely be expected. Mike and Moses Mpofu could be sacrificed like Neville Mnangagwa just to serve face and to project a semblance of commitment to fighting corruption, and the people are expected to be as gullible as always and swallow hook, line and sinker. Other casualties, ZANU-PF Youth League Varakashi, include the lame chief Murakashi Nick Mangwana, who were quick to disown and attack Wicknell Chivhayo publicly, have exposed themselves. They have been bookmarked. How can you attack Wicknell without attacking the president? And disclaimer, Zimbabweans, tsamwirai zvamunogona zvandikutaura pano hamuna zera nazvo, munofane heart attack. Ini kungotaurawo hangu semunhu anofarira kunyora uye asina zvekuita. Handina kutsamwa ini, ndifire mahara, tosangana mune zvimwe zvikamu. Ndozvakabuda achitaurwa naOsaya Mviringi achitaura achiti kusungwa kwaWicknell Chivhayo hakusi kuzoitika muri Zimbabwe. Chinhu zvinonyadzisa President Emerson Mnangagwa nema introductions akapa kune vamwe vakuru venyika muno muAfrica tinozomunena sei nyaya iyi tiudzewo zvamuri kufunga kuti President Emmerson Mnangagwa vanokwanisa here kusunga Wicknell Chivhayo kana kuti tiudzewo zvamuri kufunga pamusoro penyaya iyi mucomment section.